What's going on, guys? I'm Mike. So today we kind of have a saddle review comparison. You guys know if you've seen my last saddle review video. So I wanted to kind of go over the differences and kind of show how the older one has worn over time, and how it's held up. So this is the Corriente Association Tree. I think it's a 313 ranch saddle. So this is basically what you would get. Pretty nice, good looking saddle. Try to give you up close and everything. Still very clean. I've been riding it for about 8 months and it's still really, really clean. Here's the underside. All synthetic wool. So this is also a Corriente ranch saddle. This one was made about 7 years ago, as we can see on the tag. It's like 2013. This is a 2019. This is a 2013 or so. So let's go over the differences here. So for the most part, they are going to be about the same saddle. This saddle here has the in-seat rigging, so that means it's got all this rigging all up this way. And then this saddle here has the plate rigging. So it's just in this thick skirt, and then it's a lot thinner up here. So basically what that makes for, and the differences are, so this is gonna give you a kind of a closer leg contact because you don't have that bulky rigging up here. Some people will argue that this rigging here is stronger, but a lot of people will also argue that this rigging is stronger. I haven't had an issue with either of them. And also my last, my Wade saddle I used to have also had this plate rigging, and I didn't have any issues with that either. There's not too many differences on these. Here, let me pull this off of here so we can see underneath. Okay, so here's our first difference that we see. We've got woven leather stitching on this layer and on this layer, which I do like to see that. And then here we've got a stitched piece across the two, like a patch job. And then here we've got stitching as well. So that's one difference between the two. You may not be able to tell this on camera, but the seat dish, this is slightly more shallow than this. So that's one difference there as well. I've ridden both, obviously, and I do prefer this one a little more than this one. This one isn't bad at all. I really don't have any complaints, but I do prefer this one a little bit more. One thing that this saddle has different too is it has the gold-plated hardware. So you can see this could be cleaned a little bit, but you can see it has held up pretty well over the years and of the use. And then these were all gold at one point, but it could be back to that if I polish them up. And then here we've got the silver, the standard silver. So another difference here is the new style Corrientes. They only make them with one tree, which is something I don't really like. Especially if you're going to call yourself a custom saddle company, you should be able to get a custom tree that fits the horse that you have. So here's the thing. They only make the trees that they have that they build their saddles on. They come in one size, which is 7 inches, 7-inch gullet, and it's a 90-degree bar spread angle. So what that means is basically your horse has to have pretty filled out and wide shoulders or pretty low withers for the most part, or that saddle's going to sit down in the front, and it's going to get close to his withers, which I don't like that at all. This older Corriente, they used to make them with, you could pick the tree that you wanted. So this one here is a 6.5 gullet. So that's why I picked this one up, because my horse needs a 6.5 gullet, which is a semi-quarter horse bar. So that was the main reason why I ended up with this saddle, just because I was tired of running 2 pads. I just wanted something that fit him a little better. So, you know, nothing really wrong with this saddle, but the thing is you just need to make sure that it's going to work for your horse before you have them build you one. That's the main thing about that. But overall, I mean, this saddle has really aged well over the years. I know this saddle's been ridden pretty hard at times, and the leather is still nice and soft. There's no huge amounts of wear on anything. Everything has been wearing pretty well. Even these strings are nice and soft still. They're not hard and cracking. They're in pretty good shape. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go grab my horse and tie him up, and I'll put each one on him without a saddle pad, so you can kind of see the difference in the trees and how one fits and how one doesn't fit, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, so this is Blaze, my horse. I'm going to grab the newer made Corriente and show you how it is too wide for him, and then we'll show you the other saddle, how it fits him a little more proper. So all right, so you guys can see, well, maybe it's not that easy to see, but the saddle does kind of go down in the front there. Let me move his hair out of the way. So this is what you're looking for saddle fitment for the most part. So you want to be able to get about 2 fingers in here, and I can really only get about 1. So I can really only get about 1, so that's my pinky right there, which is my smallest finger. And we don't have that much room, so when you put that saddle pad on too, you get a little bit more room, but really not that much. Especially after you've been riding and you cinch it down and everything's tight and there's a lot of weight pushing down on it. I mean, you can see that gap goes to not that much. So that's one thing you want to check for. Another thing you want to check for is when it's sitting on him, just with not cinched up or anything, you can run your hand underneath. And see, the thing is here is I can hardly get my hand in between here because it's so tight, because it's sitting down on him too far. Because what you want to be able to do, see, I can stick my hand underneath here, underneath the tree, and you want to be able to run your hand and have even pressure. But when you get to about here, it gets really tight. So that tells me it's sitting on him too low. It's pinching at the top because it's too low. So I'm going to pull this off, and I will grab the other one and we'll talk about that. All right, so it's gonna be kind of hard to show you because his hair's in the way, but you can see we have a lot more clearance in here than we did before. And that's only because this tree is only a 1/2 inch thinner on the gullet. So that's what makes all the difference. And then also, let me go to the other side and do it because there's too much stuff on that side. So here, if we go and we run our hand, I can get my hand in there and I can run it all the way down and then out the back. So that is what makes a big difference too. So this thing overall just fits him a whole lot better than the other one, only being a 1/2 inch thinner up top. So that's kind of what makes all the difference. In some cases, other cases can be totally different. In his case though, it happened to work out, so I'm happy about that. This saddle is going to be for sale because I no longer need it. Well, anyways, guys, I really hope that this video helped you in some way. We kind of compared the difference between, new style and old style Corriente saddles, kind of the build quality. I mean, this has 7 years of riding on it and it's still in great shape. I'm going to be riding it for as long as I can. This saddle here has about maybe 8 months, maybe 9 months of riding on it, and it is not far off from brand new. So, I mean, you guys can trust that if you're buying a used Corriente saddle, you're more than likely still going to get quality. A lot of people will refer to them as like a throwaway saddle because they're not, you know, because they think that because they're cheap, they're not built right or built well. And I mean, you guys can decide for yourself. You know, this one over here has seen a lot of abuse, and this has got a lot of abuse in its future. My biggest gripe is just going to be the fitment. It doesn't fit every horse. Still a great saddle. I still recommend them. This is my second video on them, and I'm still very happy customer. So that's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and we will see you guys in the next video. Thanks. All right, guys, so here's Blaze all saddled up and cinched up tight with the old but new Corriente saddle with a pad. So this is how I would normally ride. Now look at all of that space. I can fit my entire hand in there. With the other saddle, I would know because I've been riding it before. After riding, I mean, I could get maybe a finger in there when I have the pad on. So that's a huge deal. This is so much better than it was before. So I am really happy with it. Also, a little update on these Weaver Synergy pads. I mean, we've got nothing but good things to say about these pads, man. They are a really nice pad, and they wick moisture very well, and they work super good on long days. So, all right, guys. Well, now I'm officially signing out. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. See ya.